Everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a Q&A slash just celebration for the fact that we hit 25,000 subscribers on this channel, which is just crazy. So I asked you on a recent video to just leave a comment, leave any questions that you had, and that I would be answering them. And today is the day that I do that. So I have my phone and I'm gonna be answering your questions. I feel like a lot of them are like the basic ones, so just like to start with, I'm Emily. I am French Canadian, so that explains the accent. I can't pronounce H's. H's are just my worst enemy. It's just how it is. We don't have that sound in French, so we just struggle, or we like put H's where there's no H's, and it's just how it happens. And I also get questions often about my bookshelves. They're just the IKEA Billy bookshelves, which like everyone has, but they're great, they're cheap, and they do the trick. I also get asked quite often if I'm gonna be reading books in French, and yes and no. I'm planning on reading the French classics in French because they were written in French and I am lucky enough to be able to read in French, but otherwise no other books will be read in French. I would have to wait like a year later at least for it to be translated. So I'm actually planning next haul, you're gonna see I recently bought Le Comte de Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. So I will be reading that book in French. So I'm very excited. Like, epic revenge story. It needs to happen. I tried to read it as a kid, and I read also like the Three Musketeers, Les Trois Mousquetaires. And I need to just read it now that I'm like way older and I will be able to appreciate it better. But yeah, so French classic will be read in French. I was asked quite a few times if I prefer a hardback, paperback, audiobook, ebooks, and I have to say, you can kind of tell a little bit on my shelves. I'm definitely a floppy paperback person. Like, this is what makes me happy. Like, yes, very comfortable to hold. They're just, I don't know, they just make me happy. No reason. Like, I know a lot of people love hoarding like hard paperbacks, but I don't like them. They hurt to read. You have to remove the sleeve to read it, and it just, I don't know. Like, if I find them, because most of my books I buy used either on book outlets or Value Village or my library book sales, which are awesome. Yeah, most of the books that I buy new are definitely paperbacks. I do like audiobooks, which I know there's always that huge controversy. Oh, you're not really reading, you're listening. Honestly, that's just bullshit to me. I consider audiobooks books. You're reading. Even if you're listening to it, you're still reading. So I do like them. I feel like they're very practical if you can't read in transport. Like, I know a lot of people get like sick when they're reading in a bus or in a car. I don't have that issue, but lately at work it's been like not super busy, and I've been able to like to listen to audiobook, and it's been great. Or even if you're just driving somewhere, it could be nice. Or if you're just walking around and you want to listen to something. So yeah, I definitely like audiobooks. Ebooks, I don't dislike them. I definitely prefer obviously holding a book. The only thing is, for some reason in Canada, we don't get access to those library like Overdrive. It doesn't work with Kindles, which is just so silly to me. So I would have to read the books on my phone or my laptop, which, yeah, that's kind of the only reason I'm not a big fan. And I feel like it's kind of annoying to have to buy a book, an ebook, and it's just as expensive, if not more, than the paperback. So that's kind of why most of my reading is done like real books. So yeah. But yeah, if I had to choose and only have one type, would be paperbacks. Not the mass market paperback, but the real paperbacks. What is something that has surprised you since creating your book channel? I feel like it's gonna be controversial because whatever, but I feel like the booktube community is really nice. I am from the beauty community, so if you don't know, I have a beauty channel, BookswithEmilyFox, and I feel like they're very different. Don't get me wrong, I definitely like doing makeup, fashion, lifestyle videos on that channel, but I feel like you get so much more engagement. People are like really interested and very active in the booktube community, and I've been really enjoying myself. So definitely something that it shouldn't necessarily be surprising, but I didn't expect the engagement to be so different, basically. Dogs or cats? Both, obviously. Do you think in French or in English? The thing that confuses people is the fact that I grew up only speaking French, and like 4 years ago is when I started like speaking properly English like every day to practice. And I get to only speak French with just my family. So like recently I went to a meetup in Montreal and like some people were speaking French and I had to literally practice because my French is getting rusty. So the only people I speak French with are my family. Otherwise I speak English like 95% of the time. Or I'll speak with people I'm comfortable with. I'll like switch in between, which like if you're bilingual, you probably like understand what I'm talking about. Like if you're with someone else that is bilingual, you just tend to like, if you forget a word, you just say it in a different language and you keep going. So yeah, I mostly think in English, unless I'm having a French conversation. What got you into reading and what's your favorite book to reread besides the Harry Potter books? I mean, my mom was like reading to us as a kid, so I feel like I've always been reading, so it's not like like obviously Harry Potter is like the moment for everyone, but like I was reading way before then. Like I would actually trick people into thinking I could read because I have a great memory. My mom would like read me a book and I would be able to reread it without like being able to actually read, so people were convinced I could read. I couldn't. My favorite book to reread besides Harry Potter, I would say The Martian. Like I have it in audiobook and like if I have just time to waste, I definitely love that book. I feel like it's just so fun and it's sci-fi, and even if you haven't seen the movie, you definitely need to like read that book. I love it. Who inspired you to start a book channel? What advice can you give to those who want to start a book channel? I didn't know BookTube was a thing until like last year when I started mine. I stumbled upon a few people and I remember in particular PeruseProject, Regan, and I just fell in love with her videos and I was like, wow, that's actually a thing. I want to do that. I want to like have an excuse to just read more, and that's basically what I did. And particular advice for people that want to start a channel? I mean, I feel like this is such a hard question to not like do a full video on it. I feel like a lot of the time people will tell you like, oh, you know, like grab whatever you have and film and people will watch. To be honest, becoming like big on YouTube is much harder than people realize. Obviously there's a part that is like just pure luck, but book community, just choose whatever you want to read. Don't let other people influence you. If you're someone that only reads romance or adult or YA or like sci-fi, fantasy, it's fine. Like don't have to like try and please everyone because you will not please everyone. And don't be scared of having unpopular opinions, which I feel like I've been like having quite a bit lately, and it's fine. Like people take it always like way personal, but who cares? Like nobody buys a book hoping that they're gonna hate it or takes the time to read a book hoping that they're gonna hate it. So just do it. Like use a decent quality camera, phone, get some good lighting, and that could just be filming in front of your window, and then just be yourself. You can always just do like there's a tag like the newbie book tag. Definitely a great way to start. I need to do the not a booktube newbie because it's almost been a year, so I'll definitely do that one. But like just have fun basically. And don't be too worried like if your numbers don't grow like crazy and blah blah blah. It just, you have zero control over this. The only thing you control is you, your attitude, and what video you put out there. So just focus on that instead. Who are your favorite booktubers? I will list a couple of them in the description box because I'm really bad with names and I will butcher everyone. So I'll like leave a list and like let you know maybe like what type of books they tend to read or recommend, so you have a little bit of an idea. But I watch quite a few people, but there's not that many people that have the exact same taste as me. The only girl that had the same taste as me stopped doing booktube. Sina, I'm very disappointed in you. It's great to always try and find people that have like somewhat of a similar taste, but at the same time it's also great to find other people that have like a completely different taste in books and they recommend things that you would have never picked up otherwise. So yeah, I'll list them. I think one of my most asked questions, not just on this video, but like in general, is always like, how do I read so many books? I'll definitely do a full video on it, but honestly, it's like I read in the bus, so like morning, night, it's like almost an hour, and then I just read before bed to try and calm me down so I can actually sleep. So that could be like 30 minutes, an hour again. And then during the weekend when I have time, I'll try to like take a couple more hours to read. So that's basically all I do. So I don't think it's anything like crazy or special. I think it's mostly about just getting into the habit of reading because people don't realize that, you know, it accumulates quite fast. So yeah, I don't do anything that crazy. Why did you start reading English books instead of French? To practice, literally just to practice. Basically, if I've improved my English while reading it. Honestly, when I started, like last year of high school, not the last year. Not the last year, but the one before in high school. We had a choice to get like strong English so we could have like another class for last year of high school, and that's what I did because I wanted to also get like, I wanted to get chemistry, physics, and biology, and I understood nothing. Like, I don't even know how I passed that class, seriously, because we watched movie and read books and like didn't understand anything. And actually, like this year I've been rereading some of those books to like literally understand what they were about, like The Giver. We also read Fahrenheit 451, which I guarantee you did not understand one word, and again read it recently, and that book is not super easy either, especially if like English is not your first language. And honestly, I've improved tremendously. Obviously my English is still not perfect in any way, shape or form, but I feel like I've just improved quite a bit, and it's been great, honestly. I often get the question also how, like, which books I would recommend reading if you're just starting out. My go-to is always to say reread Harry Potter in English. That will practice you. You already know the story. It's a great book to reread. YA in general is usually a great way to do it. If you want to go a little bit more intense, then obviously go adult, or like go with authors that use like a more intense English. I know like recently I was trying to read again Ursula K. Le Guin. Her English is really intense, but it's great. It's making me practice. So same thing if you want to learn a different language, reread Harry Potter in whatever language you're trying to learn. How many languages do you speak? Honestly, just French and English. I can like speak a tiny little percentage of Spanish and Arabic, but I can't have a conversation. It would be a very boring conversation. Your favorite YA contemporary romance novel? Are you asking this because you know it's not my genre? Because I swear 99% of the time I don't like them. But I don't know if it's considered romance, but I did like I'll Give You the Sun, and there is somewhat of a romance-ish in there. Or I just read The Upside of Unrequited, is that the name? And it was good too. But again, it's not fully romance, but those would be the only one I can think of. Can you hear this? It's raining like crazy. I'll read the French question in French just for fun. As-tu préféré lire Harry Potter en français ou en anglais? Honnêtement, je suis vraiment pas sûre. J'ai l'impression qu'en anglais, c'est quasiment mieux parce que c'est la langue dans laquelle ça a été écrit, mais j'étais tellement habituée de les relire plusieurs fois en français que j'ai l'impression des fois que je ressens pas les mêmes petits papillons. Mais c'est quand même Harry Potter, so ça va toujours être un 5 étoiles pour moi. Do you like classic books? Which one would be your favorites? I feel like I haven't read enough classics, and I really loved growing up Jane Austen, obviously Pride and Prejudice, which, do I have it? Because you're gonna laugh at me if I can find this thing. So yeah, I watched this, here you go, this obviously in French a couple times growing up. So obviously I loved it because of that. So people want to know what house I would be in Hogwarts and my wand and all that stuff. I need to do this. I'm gonna be doing the test. Let me know if you want me to do like a video doing all of the tests so you will know. Finally. Because I've done some in the past and they kept saying I was Gryffindor, and I don't agree. I don't think I'm Gryffindor at all. I would have thought I would be like Ravenclaw. So, but I haven't done yet the one for knowing my Patronus and all that stuff. So I need to do it because I might go to Orlando Harry Potter, Wizarding World of Harry Potter at the end of September. So I need to know before going, right? So let me know if you want to see that. Which authors are you most excited to read that you haven't tried yet? Brent Weeks and Pat Rothfuss, because I refuse to read these books until the third one is announced. But Brent Weeks is just because his books are huge. Like obviously this is the whole trilogy in one book, but like I'm gonna want to read the whole thing, and then like this is the other the Black Prism series, the third book. Like I mean, I don't know why I'm always stressed with the size of books, because honestly, if it's something that I like, I'm gonna want it to be as big as possible, but it's scary looking. Like, I'm gonna be stuck reading this forever, and they're like... And the second question was, which authors have you been put off by reading a book you didn't like? Do I need to say it? Do I still have it? I just let people around me grab books they wanted first, and I still have a couple. I keep telling myself that I still want to read Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, just in case that for some reason I love it, but I so far read Fangirl, didn't like it. And then Attachments, which probably is my least favorite book I've read since I started BookTube. And part of me kind of want to keep it just so I can be like, this is the worst book I've read. The saddest part is that I try to not read books just so I have content for those videos of like, oh, worst books ever, because I don't want to read books that I think are horrible, but this definitely is that. So Rainbow Rowell, and this one is just because this is the weirdest book I've ever read. So I'm kind of scared to read more Jeff Vandermeer books in general. I know he just came out with another one recently, but this was just so freaking weird that I'm like, I don't know if I would like something else. So let me know if you've read his newest book and how you felt about it. Is it better than this? Because that was weird. But yeah, there's probably a bunch of authors. Like, I read one book and I'm like, yeah, not gonna happen again. By the way, I'm still planning on doing a book reorganizing bookshelf tour type of video, but I tried to film it twice and I was not happy with it twice. And like, it kind of looks a bit different now, but like, it's not the way I want it. I feel like this looks decent, but like down, it's a mess. So I'm starting to like wonder if I'm just gonna do like maybe just a mini rainbow shelf and then just put them by genre or author. I don't know yet. So I need to decide that before trying to refilm it again. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. I'm pretty sure I answered a lot, if not most, of the questions. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned a little bit more. Don't hesitate to leave some more questions down below and I'll either answer them or it's going to be for a future Q&A. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and to subscribe and not miss any future videos because a bunch of crazy ones that are coming up. So I really hope you will stay tuned for that. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.